Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Tonight I'm coming to you from my bedroom in my tiny house loft, and the reason for that is because I'm going to be doing today's episode on why you're not sleeping through the night. Now, the reason I feel called to share this one is because this has been such a common theme coming up over the last couple of weeks for me. It's come up in every one of my men's groups, and it's come up in 95% of the one-on-one conversations I've had with friends and clients over the last week. People are not sleeping through the night, and it's driving them crazy. So here are some of the tips and tools that I've personally used to help me get through the night and get a good night's rest, because I can speak for myself in saying that I'm a much better person when I get a good night's rest, and I prefer /need/get 9 hours of sleep every single night. It's important beauty rest, and it just makes me feel a lot more sane and gives me the energy that I feel I need to take on the world in the day. So I hope that some of these tools can be helpful to you as well. Number 1, coffee. This is a big one, and I know a lot of you don't want to hear this because we all have our attachments to coffee because it tastes so good and I just love the ritual. I get it, trust me. I also love my coffee, but I've had to change my relationship to it because do I want a coffee in the morning or do I want a great sleep at night? I'm gonna go with the sleep. So the half-life of caffeine is between 5 and 6 hours. That means 6 hours after you have your last cup of coffee in the day, half of the caffeine is still present in your body. And I can speak from my own experience that even 12 hours later, I often can find, if I'm sitting in meditation or trying to get to bed, I can feel there's still a little bit of a surge from the caffeine that's keeping me awake. So I've gone on long periods of times where I don't have any coffee at all, and that definitely served me, and I definitely needed to listen to my body when those times were present. And then there's other times where I just really love coffee and it doesn't seem to have a negative effect on me as long as I respect it and I keep it under control, which for me is doing third calf, not half calf, but third calf. So I use just like a Bodum coffee maker, and I put 2 tablespoons of caffeinated beans and 4 tablespoons of decaf beans in my coffee grinder, and that will make 2 cups of coffee. So I'll drink that throughout the morning, and I usually try to finish that by 11 at the latest, and I haven't had any problem with that, so that would be my suggestion to you. But regardless of what you decide around your coffee habit, just try to make sure you're done drinking it as early as possible in the day, and that you're mindful that it's going to be in your system for up to 12 hours. Number 2, magnesium. I personally use magnesium for 2 things. 1, to get deeper, better sleeps, and 2, to help with my digestion. Magnesium pulls hydration, water, to your intestines, so it'll help get things moving. And how magnesium helps with sleep is it helps maintain proper levels of GABA, which is a neurotransmitter responsible for sleep. So I order a high-grade magnesium powder off of Amazon, and I take a full scoop before bed to help with sleep and a full scoop in the morning to help with digestion, and honestly, it's been a game changer for both things. Number 3, eating too late. I know I love to snack at night, and I do my best to keep this under control because having a good sleep is of high value to me. Because a good thing to keep in mind is that our body and our organs in particular need time to rest, and they need time to detox. And if we're eating too close to bed, we're not giving our body and our organs that time for rest and for detox because it's focusing on digestion. And if you ever feel hot trying to get to bed or hot in the middle of the night, and it's not just due to a hot summer night, it's probably because your liver is overheating, and that probably means your liver is feeling angry. The liver holds a lot of emotions, especially anger, and when we're overburdening it and overstressing it with too much digestion, when it has such an important and crucial role in detoxing our body and also needs its rest, it overheats. So be mindful of that. It could be a sign that maybe you need to slow down on eating before bed. Number 4 is clearing our energy before bed. So I will often light a candle and use some Palo Santo, which is also really good for clearing our energy field. And I'll also just think of things that I'm grateful for from my day. Sometimes it's something simple as an apple I ate this morning, and other times it's connection I had throughout the day, and other times it's celebrating a pretty big win. So you decide, just think of 3 to 10 things you're grateful for, which helps clear your mind and also set gratitude to the day, and also call in more of what is lighting you up and what you're looking for in your life. Now, after I do my gratitude list, either in my journal or just in my head, speaking it out loud, and I do my Palo Santo clearing, I like to do what's called a cord cutting. Now, we're energetic beings. Beyond the physical makeup of the energy that creates our body, our energetic field is much more wide and vast than this body here. And through all the interactions we're having throughout the day, we're constantly picking up energetic cords from other people. So a simple practice I use is physically putting my arms in front of me and just speaking out loud. I cut and release all cords and attachments from all space, time, and dimension, from all beings, physical and non-physical. Breathe it out. I'm grateful for all the lessons, challenges, gifts, connections, and anything there was to celebrate from today. I now let them go so I can have a deep, restful evening and get my 9 hours of sleep. So that's an energetic cord cutting. I found it to be a really valuable practice throughout my life, and I hope that it can serve you as well. Number 5 is reducing your screen time at night. I know this can be another difficult one because a lot of people like to binge watch their Netflix at night and scroll through their social media. I totally get it. I like to stay connected and catch up on my messages at night as well, but I try to limit that to the last couple hours before I go to bed, giving myself some time with no screens. And if that's not possible for you, or simply just not a desire for you, you can get what's called a blue light filter on any of your tech devices, and that will just keep the blue light that emanates from those tech devices to a very small minimum. And so what blue light does is it actually suppresses the creation of melatonin, which is a sleep-inducing hormone. So we don't want to do that before bed. We want to set ourselves up for success to get a good night's rest the best we can. Number 6 is EMFs in airplane mode. EMFs are present pretty much everywhere, which is kind of freaky, but it's 2020 and it's just something we got to deal with if we want electricity and we want Wi-Fi and we want all these technological advances. And it's probably unlikely that you're going to go turn the breaker off so that the outlets by your head are turned off. But what we can do, and what we do have control over, is turning our phone onto airplane mode. That will help to drastically reduce the amount of EMFs that are radiating next to our head if you sleep next to your phone. So I'd highly suggest doing that. And it also prevents any alerts or rings coming through and disturbing your sleep. Number 7, this comes from Dr. Wayne Dyer, who is a profound spiritual teacher, one of the greatest of our times, if you ask me. Sadly, he has since passed away, I think in the last few years, but his wisdom and teachings are something that I will take with me for a very long time. So I was actually reading one of Wayne Dyer's books a couple years ago in a period of time when I wasn't really sleeping well. I wasn't able to sleep through the night. I was waking up every night, maybe not every night, but 5 to 6 nights a week, around 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. for an hour, wide awake, and I couldn't get to bed, and it was literally driving me up the wall, and it was having a negative impact on the energy I had to tackle the next day with. So Wayne Dyer says when our body wakes us up around this time, around the 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. time, it's so that our spirit and our soul can give us the insight and the nudges that we maybe haven't been able to pick up on in our regular life, where we're kind of hectic and not as grounded and there's a lot going on. So it'll come in this time of peace and presence if we're open to allowing that to come through. So at that time, I wasn't really getting the clear guidance and information coming through as Wayne Dyer said is possible, but the value I really gained from it was just a peace of mind and the ability to sit in presence and just be with what is, as opposed to resist what is, which was me not being able to sleep. And recently, actually just this week, I woke up at like 3:42 or something like that. I couldn't sleep, and I asked myself, okay, Spirit, what am I not looking at? What am I supposed to see right now? And I got a really clear message, and I processed that for about 20 minutes. I did my cord cutting, I did a little bit of breath work, and I was able to get myself back to bed. even if you're not getting a clear message, the value is there, and that value is peace of mind and just sitting with what is. That's a really important lesson in this life, to surrender to what is. And sometimes that means being up in the middle of the night from 3 to 4 a.m. with no reason, and all you want to do is get back to bed. Number 8. Now this one's really important if you are in a relationship. This is based around the concept of human design, which is kind of like astrology in the sense of its complexity and its depth, but it's not based on the planets and the solar system. I don't know a ton about it. All I know is that there's different types of human design, and one of those is called the projector. And if you're a projector, it means you're very sensitive to other people's energy and that you shouldn't be sleeping with people, including your partner. Due to the sensitivity of your energy, you pick up on the energy of those around you, and it can make your field, your energetic field, quite chaotic, making you wake up feeling quite unrested, and also taking away your own sovereign clarity in your waking life. So like I said, I don't know a ton about human design. I was just at a birthday party last month where this was the theme of the party, and we did some practices around it. But I'm going to put a link in the description for you to check it out. It's free. It takes 30 seconds. You just have to know the time you were born, obviously the date you were born, and the city you were born, and it'll give you a quick description of the human design, and just look to see what human design characteristic you are. And if it says projector, that means it's best for you not to sleep with people. And it may be best to set a boundary with your partner around that, but I'll leave that up to you. It all depends on how much you value your sleep, right? I mean, even outside of the whole human design concept, if your partner is a snorer or a tosser and turner, or you're just really a sensitive sleeper, it may be best to get your own sleep sometimes in a separate bed. This is something that my partner and I did over the course of our 13-year relationship, and I found it really served us, because sometimes I just couldn't sleep and neither could he. So by us going to separate beds and getting a solid night's sleep, we were actually able to show up for each other so much more fully the next day. And a common fear that I often hear when I bring this up to people that are struggling with their sleep patterns or just struggling in their relationship in general, the fear is all based around a story that's been created around what that means for the relationship, when really it means nothing. It means you want a good sleep. It doesn't mean anything towards that person or the relationship. It just means you're setting a clear boundary for what you need. And my experience with this was really positive, because rather than taking each other for granted and just going to bed, saying goodnight, giving each other a kiss, there was more of an intentional opening as we were parting to separate bedrooms and wishing each other well and giving each other a hug and a kiss, and it felt like we held each other longer. And then when we both woke up in our separate beds, feeling fully rested, I had a genuine excitement to go jump in his bed, or for him to come jump in my bed, and for us to cuddle and share what our dreams were about, and be more excited about seeing each other and taking on the day, as opposed to wanting to rip his head off because he snored and kept me up throughout the night and contributed to me getting a bad sleep. So number 9, am I doing this right? 9. So number 9, exercise. I think we all know the benefits of exercise and the positive effects it has on our life, and sleep is just one more of those reasons to exercise. So science shows that we should be exercising either in the morning or in the afternoon, and the reason for this is when we exercise, our body temperature rises, and the rise in temperature stays in our body for quite some time, a few hours, and as our body temperature starts to lower again, this will trigger drowsiness, which will in turn help you fall asleep. I also find exercise a great outlet for my feelings and emotions throughout the day, so if I have a good workout in the morning or the afternoon, I'm going to be a lot more clear of those feelings and emotions when it's time for me to go to bed, which is going to help me drop into a deeper state of rest. Well, that's all I got. 9 tips and tools to help you guys get a better rest. They've really worked for me and had tremendous benefit in my life, and I hope the same for you, because everyone deserves a good sleep. I can definitely say that I'm a much better person with a good night's rest. I'm a lot less moody, and I'm a hell of a lot more creative and a hell of a lot more productive, so I wish that for you as well. If you like this video and you gain any sort of value from these tools and tips, hit the like button, comment below, subscribe. I'd love to hear if you guys have any other tools or tips around getting a good night's rest. I'm always looking to add more tools to my tool belt, and I value what you guys have to say. So it's late here. I am going to turn the camera off, go brush my teeth, and do my evening routine so I can fall asleep and have a good rest. Good night.